Do you guys remember the Las Vegas UFO incident? Well, the plot just thickened. A News Nation report just dropped where an expert analyzes the Las Vegas family backyard footage from the UFO incident, the one in which we saw the creatures in our original coverage of the video. And guess what? They have confirmed that those entities are actually there. Not only that, but they have officially gotten a follow-up interview with Angel of the family. This is potentially the biggest piece of evidence in our UFO disclosure that we've gotten in a long time. Confirmation that these entities were in the... I'm blown away. Let's jump in.
It's one thing to squint at a fuzzy video on YouTube and then decide space aliens do or do not exist. And it's another thing entirely to subject those sightings to the same kind of scientific rigor that say killers in prison. Scott Roeder is that kind of skeptic. He is an evidence expert and crime scene reconstructionist with 33 years of experience and 50.
And I do want to say that we do actually have his actual YouTube channel. So I'll have that linked below so that you can see the entire analysis in full with no interruptions, because as you know, News Nation and us, we're all going to talk about it. But you can watch the entire analysis uninterrupted.
100 cases to his credit. He is the founder of the Evidence Room, a group that assembles specialists in forensic animation, 3D modeling, and motion graphics.
And shout out to Jessica Shinali for sharing his YouTube channel with us.
Took a close look at the video that was recorded by that family in Las Vegas, and he applied his...
he confirmed the shadows that we caught on the fence.
...technology to try to debunk it. Here he is on his YouTube channel, Crime Scene, discussing what he calls the entity in the family's backyard.
I can't believe we're getting confirmation.
And look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not. And in this case, we can definitively say, to a degree of scientific certainty, that this entity, this thing in the video is there in the physical reality in which
you can kind of see the eyes.
Family is also there. Like, this is so critical because you can clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the left side.
Remember the part of the fence where we thought it was the hand sliding up? It was actually the leg of the creature moving. Oh my God. Yeah, because it's almost transparent. I just want to say, look how tall everyone in the family is. Look how tall this creature is. Think of how tall these fences are. Look how tall this creature is. 9 to 10 feet tall. Kind of like what we were seeing in the Miami Mall incident. The same mall incident where we haven't actually gotten confirmed inside the mall footage, even though there should be security cameras everywhere. And it's 2024, so everyone's always recording something.
Of the head of the shadow is only at about 33% opacity. Versus a normal shadow, which would be at 100% opacity, or
because you can,
which is at 100%. And this isn't anything that you did; it's just what you were able to determine that this shadow being, or this being in the shadows, possibly creating its own shadow, or smoky filter, or cloaking
mechanism
technique, is not only cloaking itself.
Look at this. This is an expert who is hired to solve crimes and put murderers away. An expert who does this for a living day in and day out.
There, but cloaking itself from the camera itself, in that it's minimizing our ability to identify
capture
pixels inside of that shadow.
Think of that.
I'm joined now by UFO expert Ben Hansen. He's a former federal agent.
Hi, Ben Hansen.
UFO witness, and now the host of UFO.
I still can't believe we just had an expert confirm that entity was behind that fence. And that's one of the creepiest parts, is that we caught that shadow later. During our first coverage, we barely saw that. We focused on the heads that were on, or behind, or in front of the tractor, which now seeing that they have this cloaking, it's very obvious why we couldn't tell. And then later we caught the one behind the fence. And it's crazy because Angel even mentioned how they cloaked even to his naked eye. They were harder to see. Wow.
Witness on Discovery
This
Plus.
is
Ben, it's great to
huge,
have you
y'all.
on the program.
This is because
Tonight.
this is now this is something. This is what is that?
So, I mean, your reaction to what, Scott Roeder did with his analytics, the shadow that you saw that was behind the fence as well as way above the fence. I guess your reaction to all of that.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Yeah, I'm excited because it took a while, I think, for anyone to get a copy of the raw video.
Yeah,
I
right.
personally
That's what everyone was waiting for, but I'm glad that Angel and his family took the time to get this out there. I still think it's weird how they disappeared and now they're back, but that's a different story. This evidence right here is the main thing right now. Just wow.
I'm glad that Scott has done this. I don't detect anything overt as a red flag that I would say that
I
made me
definitely
suspect that it was edited. So I concur with him on that. And it also appears that there is some sort of shadow that's present behind the slats of the fence, which you pointed out.
Yes.
And then you have kind of a head, it looks like, at the top of the fence.
And don't forget the family, they all have their guns and they're ready to shoot. That is how scared they are.
Where I kind of feel it might be a jump is people online then started to say, well, this is evidence of a cloaking creature of some sort. There is a lot going on in the video. If you look, there's 2 or 3 different light sources. And anytime you have that happening, you can have a lot of shadows from different angles. So unfortunately, we'll never have the same exact circumstance where we can go back and test it to see what might be causing a shadow effect.
But as he said, it's the opacity of it isn't exactly consistent with an actual shadow. That's the problem.
There is this one aspect of it, and I'm not sure if our producers can just let the video go, but when they walk in past the gate, something startles them and they freak out. I mean, for lack of a better description, it's not. There's no way this is acting. Actors don't do it this well. Something startles them to the right,
and I love. This is why I love News Nation, and they're also going to be linked below because they're actually taking this seriously, as serious as it needs to be taken. Like, this is weird. We need to figure out what is in our backyards, in our skies. Like, we need to know what the hell is going on here. And these people are genuinely scared for their lives. They have their guns drawn. This isn't a prank because you're not going to draw your gun on a prank. You're not going to accidentally shoot someone for some BS. This is genuine fear. I said this the first time, and I still believe it.
The video kind of goes,
a little shaky.
As it would if you were terrified.
It does, and I think that is genuine. If you look, I think they're looking at something towards the back of the yard, and something spooks
Look, he got
them
his gun.
I feel that it might be a little bit of, I don't know, call it forensic gymnastics, is to say that it was caused by this thing off to the right, because as you can see right there, that shadow appears on top of the fence, but he's not looking to the right. If this was some sort of entity that was like 3 feet away from him, I think that's what would really scare anybody. So that's where you have these theories that people are saying, well, it's partially cloaked, it's fully cloaked, didn't want to be seen, but only the video picked it up. So,
well, Angel himself said that when he was seeing the ones in the yard, he could barely see them. Meaning they probably didn't realize the presence that was off to their right. They probably got startled by the 2 that were in the yard. If they had seen or even felt that presence on the right, they would have they probably would have shot at the fence.
I don't know about that. I think just based on the video, though, it's great that we have verification that it's not been edited.
I know you talk about confirmation bias as well. Explain to the audience how you think that might be working its way into this as an alternative theory.
Well, if you think about it and go back to the
really
original,
taking every side of it.
The whole background of what just preceded this is you had this really bright object that streaked across the sky, right? And I do believe that now is a meteoroid, and it may have nothing to do with the phase.
No, because the expert that analyzed this also analyzed the meteor, and there was no heat signature. There was I'm telling you guys, I'm going to have the full video linked below. He did a full analysis, and I want y'all to check him out.
They believe they saw a light come down to their backyard. There was a lot of light and commotion, noise. And so when they went out to the backyard, they're already, adrenaline's pumping. They're hypersensitive to sights and sounds. I'm in no way suggesting that they made anything up, but perception can be skewed now that this is something out of this world we're out to see in our backyard.
But that's not. I'm sorry. Even with the people that do believe in UFOs, your mind doesn't go, "Oh my gosh, it's an alien from outer space." That's not the first thing you do when your adrenaline's pumping. Your first thought is probably, "Oh my God, are we getting robbed? Are these people coming in to mug us?" Like the light may be a coincidence. Then later things will start piecing together. Or for them, as they said, when they saw the creatures, I think that they would see if it was burglars or tricks of the light. They saw the creatures, they saw the mouth, they saw the teeth, they saw the eyes. They saw it. They saw it distorting literally in front of them. This is what I can't wait for the updated interview. We're gonna watch Angel's interview right after this.
And then anything that might have a combination of shadows or sights they're not used to, it can be amplified in your visual perception. And this is just a suggestion, but I do feel the witnesses are being credible as far as describing what they saw. Especially
what they saw was not normal.
They see whatever it is back there, and they come running out of there, and
with
it's
their
affected
guns.
At least Angel to this day. He still has trouble with what he saw.
And that should tell you, Angel was traumatized. Check out News Nation, link below. Let's check out News Nation's interview of Angel, the traumatizing experience this poor teenager had. Like, I mean, the guy made great points, but the whole family was petrified. Like, it wasn't just Angel. Angel's traumatized. It might be a teenager. But even the adults there were like, they didn't know what the hell was going on.
Not only did what happened in
Vegas, this story kind of disappeared. And then, the whole hashtag UFO thing we were just talking about. And I'm just surprised and happy that it's up and in the news and back in the forefront, because this was a major event.
Not stay in Vegas. It circled the known universe. The frenzy grew when reports surfaced that unknown authorities had afterwards placed cameras around this family's home.
And we covered that. That's actually the second follow-up video, is the update how they added cameras to the family home, even though they said it was a private home, so they couldn't record. They redacted the police's body cam footage because they couldn't record. But the next day, this shady organization added cameras. Make it make sense. Thank you, News Nation. Thank you, News Nation. Yes.
Family was driven into hiding, off the grid, out of sight, underground.
I told you guys they disappeared.
The mystery
I'm telling you.
And looky-loos and alien hunters are still on the prowl. The family posted no trespassing signs, but break-ins have been reported frequently here, as recently as last week at this home. Tonight, a News Nation exclusive. The teenager who made that 911 call is finally speaking publicly at length and laying out exactly what he saw that night and what has happened since. Our national correspondent Alex Capriello joins me with that.
I can imagine the chaos.
Las Vegas tonight.
It's the chaos they must live through. People wanting to ask questions. Oh my God.
So, Alex, it's really compelling, with the advent of a year passing almost, that they've had a chance to digest what it is they've been through. They have kept quiet. They are not looking for attention. Yet now you're getting information, especially from this 15-year-old or the 17-year-old, that's pretty alarming.
Yeah, and I've found out from speaking to Angel Kenmore that life just really has not been all that easy for the past year since they saw that 10-foot tall creature in their backyard right here behind me. For him,
10-foot tall. And just to kind of go back to the analysis video, was that shadow not roughly 10 feet tall? Like, there's a lot of coincidences.
He says that he's plain and simple traumatized by it all. He says he can't sleep at night. He's become slightly paranoid. He cries at night, trying to make sense, heads or tails, of what exactly he saw that night, playing it back over and over in his head. You can imagine, the torment that's going through in his head. But to this day, none of the family has a very good explanation about what exactly they saw that night. But to their credit, they've stayed pretty consistent about the facts and the details. I really grilled him about that, trying to get him to remember as much as he possibly could about that night. Here's a portion of our conversation.
What do you remember about that night? What do you remember seeing?
Poor kid, putting him on the spot.
Duggan, I guess. We were in the backyard fixing the truck, and then out of nowhere we just see a big light fall down and basically crash in the backyard.
17, and he got tattoos. Okay.
Moments after, like a couple seconds after, I saw the big giant creature in front of me. The alien, whatever you guys want to call it. The alien demon, whatever you guys want to call it.
Oh.
What do you believe?
He said alien, demon, whatever you want to call it. And I do want to say, you know, his family is religious, and his mom started praying, and they said that they felt better when they were praying to Jesus, and they felt like the things weren't like coming at them. That was a whole part, and they were very open about that.
A demon.
A demon.
He thinks it was a demon.
So maybe
see?
that's changed. That once you thought it was an alien, now you believe it was a demon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, you know, only God knows what it was. But I'm thinking it's like something bad, you know, not a good thing.
Was it moving? Was it doing?
Yes, it was moving. It was, you could see like he was breathing, like he was like pissed off. Like he wanted to do something.
That would scare me.
He was looking at you and your brother?
He was looking at me, yeah.
Did he say anything?
Now, I will say, I think it's interesting that we covered this, it kind of disappeared, the family disappeared, no one was talking about it, nobody was covering it, now it's coming back up, now it's back in the zeitgeist, and he is saying that they're demons, and this comes after, and again, I want to stress that him and his family are religious, and they were talking about the demonic presence prior to this, even in the original. So it's not like he just switched it up to demons, but he thought it was an alien. You know, his religious family was talking about demons, and I'm sure now he's like, maybe it was a demon. But what I want to say is it's crazy that we are switching to that narrative now after that Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan episode where Tucker Carlson said that these are spiritual things, and with the way that the hashtags are being covered, as we've mentioned before, maybe this is a biased narrative that's being pushed. I don't know, a lot of coincidences, very, very strange timing. Very strange timing. Glad we're getting more information. Very strange timing.
Growling like a dog, like he was growling.
When did it end?
As soon as I closed my eyes, I guess. I don't know. I think I was praying or something like that, and they just let me go. That's when I went inside, and you know, I saw my dad. I mean, I saw it too.
Let him go because he was frozen.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't move.
Yeah, see?
I couldn't move, yeah.
I remember the original story.
Yeah, I couldn't move.
And you were looking at it for 30 or so seconds, and then all of a sudden it was gone?
Yeah. That was pretty creepy.
A lot of people think that that's just hard to believe.
That, you know, like I said again, they can think whatever they want.
What do you say to the people who believe that your family just made this whole thing up to try to get attention?
They can believe whatever they want, you know. I'm not doing it for free. If I did it for fame, I would be on YouTube and stuff like that, doing more videos. But
right, he did just drop it afterwards.
Made my story. That's pretty much it.
And that's it.
I made no money off this. I want people to know that I made no money off this. I don't need money. That's pretty much it.
He is very honest. They told their story, and they were like, "This is my story," and the story didn't even get published till like a month later because it didn't happen, or 2 months. It didn't happen in June or July or whatever we covered it. It happened in like May, but the police kept the footage and all of the information until a month later when they scrubbed whatever was on the body cam. You can check out the full video. It'll be linked in the description, and it is the main video on the channel.
I bet you hope it doesn't happen to anybody.
Oh, no, hopefully not, no. I hope God, no. Really bad experience.
Oh, my gosh, poor kid.
And Ashley, I don't know what your impression of him was, but when I was speaking to him personally, I was really struck by how confident and authentic he was about his memories of that night. There's a lot of people obviously out there in the world that would make up ghost.
And he seems upset, and he's like, it helped me, you know, which is the story he's been telling. He hasn't changed it. He was frozen in place. And I just feel like it's not exaggerated. Like if a lot of the thing, he's just very calm and like, this happened. I didn't care. Like I don't want to publish it. I just wanted to tell my story. I hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. I hope it doesn't happen again. And like the first time, and again, the timing is weird, but like the first time, it seems like everyone is approaching them to interview them as opposed to them giving out the information. The guy analyzed this video on his own, and News Nation approached the family to be interviewed. The family is not approaching or trying to look for fame
in order to chase any sort of clout or fame. But to me, Angel came across as somebody who truly believed that he saw something that night in that backyard right here behind me.
Yeah, Alex, he didn't really seem to have canned answers either. So if this was all a big ruse, he's either a really, really good actor, I mean, Meryl Streep quality, and, you know, he certainly didn't script it, didn't seem to plan out answers, you know, at the grasp. I do want to ask you about the family. You know, this is the 17-year-old finally talking at length about his experience. And boy, did he ever add some details there, that what he saw seemed to be angry and breathing heavily with growling, looking right at his brother and him, and that he...
But he did mention this the first time. A lot of people just overlooked it because they were more looking at the spectacle of the whole thing. A lot of these details were present at first.
Frozen, which is an account we've heard from other people who have felt that they've seen something out of this world before, that they've been frozen and unable to move. What about the family? Does the family back him?
Yeah, the family does, although they're much less willing to go public about it. I spoke to his mom, who basically said that she has no interest in speaking about it because she just feels differently than Angel. She feels like nobody in the world is going to believe her. Angel, on the other hand, while certainly not trying to publish his case widespread, he feels the need to share it because he wants the world to know what he saw, and also
his mom is a typical Latina mom. I can already see it. She doesn't want that mess in her house. She doesn't want you to talk about it. That was bad juju. You got rid of it. Don't want that evil back in the house. She'd be like, "Oh no, as I said, Diablo. No, no, no. I can already see it, and I respect it. Mama ain't having it, and neither is the rest of the family because Mama in charge."
The world to know that his family is doing okay and moving forward. In general, the family wants the spotlight off of them. Take, for example, all these no trespassing signs. There's at least 4 of them. But at this time, they are just basically saying, look, we don't really want to talk about it anymore, but we still stand behind the things that we saw.
And this is what happened.
Watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And
I think it's important to note that it is them just showing, hey, we stand behind this statement. Not we're looking for, but this did happen. You know, now they're analyzing the video. Yes, that is what we saw. You know, if you want to interview us, we are here. We're not going to come towards you. We're not going to actively go and talk about it, but we aren't going to hide the information either. This is what happened. And I respect that. And I think that it's a very mature way to handle the situation and allows for them not to be disturbed with it constantly while also providing the community enough evidence to be able to research. Now, for those interested, this is Crime Scene. This is a gentleman
investigation episode
who did the entire analysis of the video. I'm going to have it linked below. He does a really great job, and he starts talking about a lot of his techniques that he uses, what he's using it on. He has really great credentials. My goodness, I can't speak. I highly recommend you guys check him out and check out this full video for you guys to analyze on your own. I'm going to have that linked in the description below as well. But I am blown away. I'm blown away with this information coming out. I'm blown away by us getting what seems to be confirmation that there was actually entities back there and that these videos are not edited or altered in any way. Because these videos are not edited and altered, I do believe that it's not just confirming the shadow we saw in the fence, but also the entities that we saw near the tractor, that a lot of us saw them blinking in the original video, and it still kind of freaks some of us out, including me. I'm shocked. I'm happy. I'm excited. I hope more comes from this, but I really hope for peace for Angel and his family. They don't deserve to be hounded, but I am grateful that they were able to share this information. I am grateful to Crime Scene for analyzing this video, providing that analysis to News Nation, and I am so grateful to News Nation for actually covering this in an unbiased light. I love that they had the expert analyze the video, then they had someone to give their opinions that were a little bit against it, just to kind of show, like, look, we can look at this from both sides, but the point is, we have evidence now. We need to be looking at it, breaking it down, sharing it amongst ourselves, and having this conversation. And I hope that you guys continue this conversation in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this, smash that like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you didn't like this, smash that dislike. It's okay. Let your opinions be known. You guys are absolutely incredible. Keep looking up and keep looking in your backyard. But always have your camera ready.